Let's go.
Okay, let's go. How was your gig last night?
Gig last night was cool, man. I'm doing this like it's a corporate thing at a fancy hotel, and they're doing like I'm doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so it's like a triple header, and it's all like award ceremonies for like last night was the pharmaceutical awards, and the day before that,
I thought you were going to say farmers. I was like, oh, there's not much money in that, but pharmaceuticals.
Fingers crossed for farmers tonight, because I reckon they'll have a party. Yeah, we've had pharmaceuticals and aviation, like the UK Aviation Awards or something. So yeah, it's just like a corporate thing.
I know them. I know them really well, actually. So
Yeah.
how's the what have you been up to since I randomly saw you at a festival?
Yeah, so that must have been what, sort of early
June?
July or late June time, something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember. Like the summer is just blurred into like 6 weeks of madness with kids and stuff. So
Man, yeah, summer holiday chaos, yeah.
yeah,
Not something I had to deal with at this point. So
lucky. He's lucky.
yeah. Yeah, so I had a really busy July with a whole bunch of random like one-offs. Like for
Yeah.
example, that was I was playing with this band Nashville at Heart, where we saw each other, which is like this like modern country band, and we do all the like Lainey Wilson stuff and Luke Combs and all that. So I jump on with them every now and then. I also had a couple of shows with this guy called Jacob Banks, who is like a sort of, I guess it's like R&B soul vibes.
Okay.
Playing his tunes, which was great. We went and played Montreux Jazz Festival, which was
Nice.
a bit of a bucket list festival gig for me.
Yeah.
He's someone I've been working with. I just started with him this year, and we did like a big European and UK run in the spring. So we did like 6 weeks on a bus for that, and then this summer's been kind of like bits and bobs, mostly like jazz festivals, which is kind of interesting because it's it's jazz tangent, but it definitely isn't jazz.
Right. I did notice that, like, when you look at like jazz festivals, and then it's not jazz artists. I saw like, I can't remember which was the festival. I think it might have been the Montreal Jazz Festival, and the artists on there, like, they're not fucking jazz.
Dude, it was us and Diana
Ross.
Ross.
It was like I think Jake Bugg was playing. I was like, Jake Bugg's not jazz.
Yeah, that is tenuous.
I don't know if it was Jake Bugg, but it was somebody in that vein. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's kind of become a bit of a meme, to be honest. That like jazz festival, and then it's like spot the actual jazz artist on this huge lineup.
Yeah.
But I guess in our set there is solos, and there is like like there's African influence. Jacob is Nigerian. And has lived in the UK, I think, since he was 16. So we do kind of like some Fela Kuti type stuff in there, and like there's like I say, there's some improvisation and there's some solos. So it's like, when I say it's jazz tangent, it's you could spin it in a certain way, but like we don't swing.
Right.
And there's not a lot of bebop language and all that sort of stuff,
I was going to say, well, just throw in a few outside lines and it's jazz.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Everything altered all the time.
Yeah. So what I'd really like to get on, because we didn't get a chance to speak that much at the festival. How did you get into music? What was your in?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I guess musical family as fans, like both my mum and my dad were absolutely massive music heads. So there was always music on at home, and I started learning piano and all that sort of stuff. But I guess the main sort of when I was 10, I moved from Scotland to England.
Yeah.
My mum met my stepdad, and he's a drummer. He is basically a session drummer. He was kind of in the 80s. He was on the like rock scene.
Nice.
The sort of like spandex and big hair kind of vibe. So
cool.
Yeah, he did like a tour with Whitesnake.
I was just going to say Whitesnake.
Yeah, bro. Like that's the scene, Bernie Marsden, Marillion. He was really involved in with those guys. Fish. He did quite a few tours with Fish, who's the lead singer of Marillion.
Yeah.
So I moved down to England, and he's a drummer, so there was drums everywhere. We had this was in like mid noughties or whatever, but we had Logic at home. He had a little setup and he could record his drums. From the age of like 10, I was kind of like mucking about with all that stuff, basically, like just playing guitar and smashing the drums and doing all that fun stuff when you're 10, 11, 12, just like, playing Iron Maiden and trying to record myself and all that sort of stuff. So that was kind of it. All the way through school, I was just like playing, and it was kind of that sort of music that I was doing. So it was like I had my classic rock band. I was the singer, and it was like, like AC/DC and The Darkness and Iron Maiden and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So like, and we were doing like, local gigs from, I was like 13, 14, and we were out, like the guys were a bit older that I was in the band with, and then I was 14, they were 16, 17. They had their cars, so we could drive all around. Like, I live near Reading, so we'd go and play shows in like High Wycombe and Southampton, and you know what I mean, like go and do all the joiners or whatever when I was like underage. So I was like gigging a lot. Dude, we sucked. Like, we were so bad, but it was a really good. It was a good education.
It was cutting your teeth,
big time. Yeah, absolutely. So that was that, and then when I was about sort of late, like 19 or something, my stepdad was doing this band. More recently than the Whitesnake stuff, he started playing drums with a guy called Spike Edney, who is the musical director for Queen. So
wow,
my stepdad plays drums for him, and Spike has this, it's called the SAS band, Spike's All Stars. So
I've seen that around.
Yeah, they've been around. I mean, I think they had their 30th anniversary recently. They're like, stalwarts.
Yeah.
So it's Spike and a bunch of like session dudes, and then they'll get different stars to come in and sing and do a spot, kind of like a variety show type vibe. And when I was 19, my stepdad was like, I need a drum tech. Can you come and set up my stuff?
Nice.
And I was like, all right, sure. It was drum tech and guitar, basically backline. Like, can you come and just like push flight cases and tune guitars and help me when my cymbals fall over or whatever? So I did that. And through doing that, I ended up doing some like pretty cool gigs. Like, my very first gig when I was 19, we had a festival and Jeff Beck was the star. Yeah, so I had to guitar tech for Jeff Beck, who is like, he's my goat. He's like Mount Rushmore. He was just like, he's my guy. So that was surreal and terrifying and amazing. So I did all that, and that again was like a really good education in like how gigs work. Going from like when I was playing, like doing the smaller tiny venues to no one. Then I was doing like big corporates and festivals and working with, stars, more well-known people. And because they knew I wanted to be a guitar player at this point. Every now and then they would let me kind of like jump on and like smash acoustic in the background for one of the songs that needed it, which was like, again, a really cool experience. So I'm very, very grateful and lucky to have had that early experience, basically just to be surrounded by it, and through John, my stepdad. God, I'm giving you the full life story here.
No, it's fine. It's good, man.
Quite quickly, I found it a little bit frustrating. I did that for a couple of years, the backline thing, and I was like, oh man, like I just really want to play here rather than, be the guy pushing the flight cases and putting the towels out.
Yeah.
And I figured like, I was early 20s at this point. I was like, I'm gonna have a crack at this. I want to try and do it myself. So I actually I stopped doing the backline thing because you get more of what you do, right? So I was kind of like, I was picking up contacts in the kind of like crew tech world and getting called for shows and all that sort of stuff. And I had a couple of mad experiences, really, really hard gigs. And I kind of was like, oh, hang on, I think I might utterly hate this.
Okay, let's talk about those. What were those shows?
Man, so one of them, funnily enough, was in Montreux, not at the jazz festival, but it was a band called the Queen Extravaganza. I don't know if you've ever come across them. They were basically, they're a tribute band, but they were put together by Brian May and Roger Taylor. There was, I think maybe like 10, 15 years ago, there was this huge like YouTube call out, and they were like, we need to find like the best Freddie and the best Brian May and the best Roger Taylor.
Yeah, I think I remember that, yeah.
And it was like huge. It was like before viral was a thing. Everyone was applying and doing their best Bohemian Rhapsody and whatever. Anyway, they became a band, and I went and did backline for this band in Montreux. Man, I'll try and keep this brief. Basically, think of something that could have gone wrong on a gig. It went wrong on a gig. And I was the guy who was doing the backline stuff and had to be the guy to try and fix it.
Man.
So like, dude, they hadn't played together in over a year, these guys, and we were doing Night of the Opera, start to finish, live streamed on some version of Google. They had a social media at one point, and it was being live streamed on this thing. Bass player's pedals ran out of batteries because he insisted on using batteries. So mid-gig, this was. The pedal board quite literally caught fire at one point. I had to like run on and like change all the adapters. Before the show, no one had told me, but there was like a ukulele, which I was in charge of. No one had told me about it, so I just get chucked it, and it was completely out of tune. So I tuned up the ukulele to what ukuleles are the normal standard tuning. The singer starts playing it, and it was supposed to be a half step down. It was supposed to be an E flat, and no one had told me. So
hell.
like I'm changing the batteries, and the lead singer is like retuning the thing on stage, and it was just like, I don't know if this is worth my day rate. Like,
it's a baptism of fire,
bro. I'm just a kid. Like I can't handle this. So it was that, and I had another. I won't talk about that one, but yeah, a couple of like very close together experiences doing backline, and I just thought, do you know what? I just want to shred, man. Fuck this, literally. So yeah, so I sacked it all off and started focusing on the bands that I was playing in at the time, which had varying degrees of not much success, to be honest with you. But again, cutting the teeth, and this was up in London at this point, and I'm sort of early to mid 20s and trying to kind of do the band thing and take it a bit more seriously and write tunes and record them properly, blah, blah, blah. I was still living at this point like near Reading. So I was doing a lot of commuting up to London, which was tricky. And then basically and I was teaching guitar as well at this point in schools and privately. I decided that I'd never studied music ever. I was completely self-taught. So I decided that was something that I wanted to do. And I ended up with a little bit of money. Someone passed away, so I got a bit of inheritance type thing. And I decided to put that in, and I went and did a master's. I did a jazz master's at Guildhall. So that was in 2019. I started that. And then, of course, COVID happened. So I ended up doing my 2-year master's, like pretty much
from home
on Zoom. Yeah, exactly.
That must have sucked.
Dude, it sucked for a lot of reasons, and I try and always see the positives of it, because for me, having never had like a formal musical education, it was all just like self-taught and just hanging out and YouTube.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to this thing and just basically get the one-to-ones and just have shed time. That was kind of what I was really looking to do. Other people on my course who'd done like a bunch of musical undergrads and all that sort of stuff, they were going to do the masters, and they were like, I'm going to get my band together and we're going to be the baddest motherfuckers in the city and we're going to swing at like 300 BPM and all that sort of stuff. I was like, that's great. I just want to learn the modes of the melodic minor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just wanted to get that kind of like stuff for me down, if that makes sense. And of course, like it was internationally sanctioned that I had to, because I couldn't go outside. So it was like, I might as well just sit in my room and practice. So
you actually, although, I think the reason that I went to college was because of the tutors that were there. And if I was to go back to college again, it would be pretty much for the same reason, like who's teaching there? What can I learn from them? But because you're given the freedom to come and go as you please, you can go out and gig, you can go and socialize, but you're literally not allowed to leave the fucking house. It's like, well, all I'm going to do is practice.
Yeah, totally. And I was there for 2 years. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to try and do this like 2-year intensive, like, let's just get my shit together, basically. Yeah.
And did you?
Well, still TBC, to be fair. What I really learned in that time of the, 8 hours in the bedroom was like how to practice and like sort of like systems, you know what I mean? Like different approaches and different ways of doing it. I got super into like practice diaries and reflection and all that kind of stuff.
All right, well let's leap into that. So what was your practice schedule like?
Man, I mean, I can show you. It was a combination of, God, it would change all the time, but like material for college, it was hard shit that we were doing. Like we had combo stuff and learning standards and big band charts and oral stuff, so like a lot of singing. Reading, I was really, at this point, I was thinking that I was going to be like a theatre guy and I was going to like get my reading together. So I just like Bach chorales and all that sort of stuff. I would just sit and just put the metronome on and play the cello suites and just, just like try and get all that really together. A lot of it, and probably the bit that I still practice the most now, honestly, it's so boring, but it's just like facility stuff. It's like, it's like scales and arpeggios and all that kind of thing, which I'd never really done a whole lot of before. In terms of the guitar, I would do a lot of like frets 1 to 5 limitations. So like try and play through the circle of fifths.
Yeah.
Like Phrygian only, circle of fifths, only play frets 1 to 5, that kind of thing. I would do a lot of drone practice, so different to that. So if I was like, okay, let's play in F sharp today, and I'm going to play through every mode in that limitation, only in F sharp. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay.
Yeah, I could see.
Major, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, blah, 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 and then do the same thing for melodic minor. At that point, I was trying to get my shit together for like harmonic minor, harmonic major, which has all gone out of my brain. But you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
try and get every mode down, like fretboard geography, blah, 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 that sort of stuff. So
it's giving me anxiety just thinking about it.
yeah, dude. Like I say, I don't do a whole lot of that anymore. But at the time, it was amazing because it was like, oh, this is brand new,
Yeah.
and it was like quantifiable. Like I could see my improvement happening every single day. If you go through that for 2 weeks, you do all 12 keys, and then you pick a different limitation, or you pick a different group of group of scales or whatever. So yeah, that I guess does that sort of answer your question a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it's very methodical. Like I tried to do something similar when I had lessons with Martin Goulding, and he is so overly clinical. Like he would show me his practice routine for both guitar and drums, and it is literally written out like 9 a.m., 20 minutes alternate picking, 9:20, 20 minutes sweeping, 20 minutes this, 20 minutes that, break, have some lunch. And he said, this is what I'm like, that is like, I'm fairly certain, even if I wrote it out, I wouldn't stick to it. I'm not wired like that. But I totally understand and like if people do that, I think you honestly get the most out of your practice by doing that. And when I tried it, I was like, fuck me, look at the improvements I'm making.
Totally.
But then my brain is just like, why don't you have a quick look at this standard in this jazz book? Like, okay, I'll do that. And then like, oh my God, there's that country line that you wanted to. Oh no, I'll go back. And I find myself flip-flopping between different stuff, and I never really fully burrow into one thing.
Yeah, that's to me, that's what I was trying to beat, because I had the exact same thing. Like,
yeah,
the classic thing, it's like you just end up playing licks, like you just play your shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've just got like my vocabulary that I use. This is still true for me now, particularly true for me back then, is I would just play all the same old shit all the time over every single thing. And it's like, okay, I need to try and, like, I'm not practicing right now. What I'm doing is I'm playing.
I'm just wanking around.
I'm wanking. I'm just playing. And it's like, you're not improving really. You might be improving that one lick that you've been playing for 5 years. Sick. How much are you really going to improve it? Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes much more sense to try and, like, if you're practicing, I think 5 minutes of, like, you know, Lydian dominant is going to be much more useful than, like, half an hour of, like, bluesy pentatonic wanking, which we've been doing for years and years and years. Do you know what I mean? That was something that I actively was trying to beat, what you just described.
Yeah. I mean, I think once you get focused, I mean, like if you get a show through or a gig or a session, then everything becomes laser focused. Like I did this thing, and this is the first time I've ever done it. I'm going to show you this here, actually.
Yeah.
So I got booked to play the full Monty a couple of weeks ago, and I learned all the tunes, learned all the parts. I went through the whole first half of the song, the whole first act. I was like, just play it like it's a show. And then I wrote down every single fuck up.
Hell yeah.
I was like, right, tune number 1, you didn't have the rhythm down. Tune number 2, bar 141 to the end, you didn't have the outro. And then when I came back the next day, I've now got a focused practice session.
There you go.
I was like, but yeah, it's when you don't have that focus, or I don't have that focus, or I don't have that deadline, I'm just kind of fucking around and moving. I'll do this, I'll do that. So
yeah. Well, so what you're doing, like the reflection is like the writing it down is key, I think, for that, because it's like you say, it's for future you. You come back and look at it, because otherwise you'd remember some of that, but you wouldn't remember all of that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, now I can go through and practice part A today. Is just like check all those things. It's like maths, you know, just like, okay, I fucked up, I can't do this equation. Learn that. Now I can do that equation. And rinse and repeat, you know,
just drill it until it's in there. But that was the first time I've ever done that, and I thought, wow, it was like you said, future me was like, oh, this is fucking great, because now I don't have to play the whole fucking tune or the whole fucking pad.
Yeah,
I can just literally zoom to it. Right, there you go, 141. Put the click on, put the track on, play it, go.
Off you go.
Now do the whole song. Now glue it all together.
Exactly. There you go. It's like a formula. It's just like, okay, fix that. Can do the whole thing. Now I can practice the whole thing as a oneer. Then scale it out. Now I can do the show. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. And having a teacher as well, I think, holds you accountable to stuff. Like,
did you get a good one? Absolutely.
Did you do the thing? No, I didn't do the thing. Why didn't you do the thing?
Lazy bastard.
Yeah. Well, that isn't good enough. Like, okay, and I kind of do the same thing with my students, but I can't. They're quite young, so I can't get like angry at them. But so how did you find the jazz course?
Honestly, I loved it. My particular course was great for me because at the time at Guildhall, the head of jazz was a guy called Malcolm Edmonston, who seemed to quite like me, which was nice. And he knew that I was into jazz, but it wasn't just jazz. We would do like, I ended up in a combo with him, and we just played yacht rock. We just played Steely Dan and like crazy live arrangements of like Whitney tunes or Chaka Khan or whatever. So, again, stuff that was like jazz tangent, but and stuff that used jazz harmony. And then he'd get us to blow on it, So like we'd be improvising, kind of like using jazz language and trying to get in some of the stuff we were getting from our harmony lessons, but applying it to what I would consider like more common real world scenarios. You know what I mean? Like these are tunes that you might play. I mean, I've never played like Peg on a function. Like, you know what I mean? But like these are like types of harmony that you're more likely to encounter on a corporate. And also like I say, the teachers that I was working with, like I had a bunch of people who were playing in the West End, which was something that I was really interested in at the time, and proper session guys like dudes who are in Abbey Road every week and playing for films, like John Paracelli, if you know that guy.
I've heard the name,
yeah, he's sort of one of the stalwarts London session recording scene. So I had some lessons with him, which was like he was kind of one of the main reasons I went. He's kind of OG top dog. So yeah, for a lot of different reasons it worked really well for me. Like the fact that it was jazz was probably the quite low down the list in terms of those reasons. Do you know what I mean? Like I wasn't really looking to swing, and I'm still not, and I'm still not very good at it. But all the other things, like the harmony and the oral and the reading and the transcription, and do you know what I mean? Like it was quite and we had this rhythm class, which was amazing. I was just learning some tunes this morning, and it's like I still think about that stuff all the time, like how to count rhythms and subdivisions and feel and time and you know what I mean, and your rhythm playing, blah blah blah. So yeah, I'm a big advocate for it. It was also like I'd never been taught before, really, other than like ad hoc lessons back home or as I was saying earlier. So it was like, oh my god, this is lit. Like I've got so much time with all these incredible players who are just like giving me knowledge. I think going as a bit older, like not as an 18-year-old, I'd done a different undergrad. I did a history degree when I was 18, which was a very different experience. So like I was just like, oh my god, this is incredible. I love this. Yeah.
Cool. And so now you're done. Now you're out gigging. What does practice look like today?
Practice looks like, well, recently, like you say, it's learning gigs, learning shows.
Yeah.
For a while, I was really struggling, man. Like I was, other than like outside of just like stuff for function tunes and artist gigs, I was like, I'm not getting a whole lot of like actual like practice for me. So, dude, I've gone back and done this thing. Do you know Frank Gambale's Chop Builder? You ever come across that?
I haven't got it. I've got one Frank Gambale book. I can't remember what it was called. It was like not rhythm. It was.
I've got one of his books too.
It was triads and arpeggios and stuff.
Does he have like a dominant chord one or something? But this is like an old style like hot licks.
Yeah.
Like workout tape.
Right.
And it's like an hour and 10. 12 rounds. He's done it like a gym session.
Okay.
So you have like different rounds, and each round is like a technique. So there's like a sweeping round, there's a string skipping round, there's a arpeggio round, there's a really cool one on switching between triplets and semiquavers, like within a thing. So it's like stuff. It's really good. It's really hard. Like I've been working on it for a couple of months, trying to get this whole 1 hour routine down. And dude, it's crazy hard. Like I'm so bad at sweep picking, and it's like really like old school, like 80s, like huge 6-string sweep shapes, which is like something I've never been very good at. So it's like, oh wow, like this is like I'm learning here. I'm having to practice get this together. And what I like about it is that it's an hour, and it's sort of like all encompassing. Like I can just sit down first thing when I sit at my computer. I'm like, okay, time to practice. I can just do this for an hour.
Yeah.
Similar to going to the gym, like you do that for an hour, and then you're like, sweet, I can do whatever I want for the rest of the day.
Now I can eat donuts.
I can eat donuts, and I can play pentatonic blues bullshit because I've worked on my transitions between triplets and semiquavers. So so that's what I've been practicing. I've also very recently I say very recently, about 6 months ago, I bought a pedal steel.
Nice.
Yeah, so I've been it's sat over here. I've been trying to get that together. So that's been
how hard is pedal steel?
dude, like I haven't sucked at anything this hard like since I was a kid. When I first got it, I was like, "Oh my god, like you've got these
Sounds amazing.
you've got these fucking, you know,
Thumb
proper
picks.
traditional thumb picks and finger picks. These go
Okay.
on, these go like this, like witches' fingernails type thing. And you have to get all this right hand technique, which is the hardest bit. There's all kinds of blocking and muting and all this kind of stuff. So it's hard, dude.
Like I've only ever did one session with a guy. It was a country original artist, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we've got a pedal steel player coming down for today." I'm like, "Fucking great!" And
Yeah.
I just love the sound. But I was watching him play. Now with two pedals going on, and the string, it's like slide guitar plus piano plus fucking two independent volume pedals. I'm
Absolutely.
like, shit, man.
Yeah. So it's the one I've got is like it's the simplest setup you can get while still kind of doing everything. So mine's 3 pedal, 4 knee lever. So you've got your knees are doing stuff, and then your left foot is pedals, right foot is volume pedal.
Right.
And then 10 strings. So it's kind of tuned to like an E major 9, but it's got a D natural in there as well. So it's like this kind of spicy, like if you strum all 10 strings, it's got a natural and a dominant 7. It sounds super spicy.
Okay.
But you quite quickly, you realize like, okay, here are some like groups of 3 strings for your major shapes. And if I just hit these 2 pedals together, I get the 4 chord and all that sort of stuff. Like the learning. So here's the thing, like I told you I sucked really, really bad at it. I'm a total beginner. So what I've found is like when you play, like let's say I've practiced 10 hours on the pedal steel. If you practice for another hour today, that's like 10% more time you've ever spent on that instrument ever.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing the gains are really sharp,
Okay. Yeah,
compared to like playing the guitar where, you and I, like, we've probably got our 10,000 hours at this stage. If you play for 1 hour, that's 0.0001% of the time you've ever spent playing guitar. Pedal steel, I'm getting 10%, like 8% every single time I sit down at it.
Wow.
So I'm feeling like which is really rewarding. Every single time I go for it, I'm like, oh fuck, like I've just learned this whole new world of things. If I just play these 3 strings together, there's a sus chord. Lit.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing,
Yeah.
And because it's such a beautiful sound, not when I play it, but I'm aiming for like a lovely sounding thing. It's rewarding, when you find those sounds. So that's kind of chop builder and pedal steel is like what I've been doing for me over the last couple of months.
I always think about like grabbing a second instrument. Like we've got a piano at home, and I remember sitting down with like my kids, like book 1, how to play piano for 5-year-olds, and just trying to just go through just left hand stuff, and then I can't read bass clef at all. I fucking am shit at it. So I was like, all right, I'll just try and look at some and it's like, okay, I've got a little tune going here. But it's the same thing. And you come back the next day, you sit down, it's like, oh, I can kind of like the improvement is massive.
Yeah,
it's like it's been ages since I've got that. Oh fucking hell, I can do it.
Yeah.
But I always look at, I don't know what it is. Like I've got a drum kit, and I'm like, I should do some drum practice. And I look at saxophones as well. It's like sax is pretty cool, but then it's like, well, you haven't got enough time to really sit down and hammer guitar. Why are you adding piano and like just
totally?
But yeah, I like the process of learning anything new. Like I love going through that. Like, you start to pick apart things, and you realize just like how complicated drums is, for example. Like, and I had a drum lesson like 5 or 6 years ago because I was teaching a rock school at school, and I had no way to communicate to the drummers. I was like, well, if I have a couple of lessons, show me how everything works, how you play a groove and how you read. And he was taking me through like disco, Motown, soul, different grooves, and all that was changing was a kick drum. I was like, so wait, if I put the kick drum on 2 and 4, that's your standard rock beat. Now put it on, I can't remember exactly what it was, but now put it on 2 and 3, and that's a soul groove. Like hi-hat and snare's the same. Just move the kick drum, and if you put the kick on 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's disco, and speed it up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my fucking hell. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just those little insider tidbits that you don't ever really think about.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, drums is a whole other thing, isn't it? Like, it's, yeah. I think me and you could probably, you know, guitar, bass, piano, you can get by, I think, harmonically. But dude,
Yeah.
like, I started on the drums. That was because of my stepdad. I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
But like, and I love just like fucking around on the drums. But as soon as it comes to like anything serious, like when I press record and it's like, my God, I'm like, something's up. Like my
speeding up.
sample rate's gone weird. Yeah. But what's this latency I'm getting? It's like, oh no, I just suck.
No, it's
like,
you.
I'm just like, I've got, yeah, dude, it's me. And I, like, this is something actually I was going to mention earlier. You were talking about your learning your show. Like, something I've learned in the last like 3, 4, 5 years of playing proper gigs and practicing seriously is like recording yourself is so easy now. And it's like, okay, because you can't hear it as you're doing it. Everything feels good, you know, or it feels pretty good. And then when you like zoom in, and especially if you're doing anything like properly rhythmic, you know, talking about the drums, but like 16th lines, anything syncopated, getting it on Logic or on whatever, and like seeing where your subdivisions land.
Yeah.
That's been one of the biggest things for me that's helped me improve. It's like, oh fucking hell, my last 16th is always late or always early or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, now I'm going to focus in on that. That's been really, really helpful for me.
Yeah.
Kind of horrible when it comes to the drums, but I could apply it to the guitar, and it's a bit more like, okay, I can action this. I can do something about it.
Yeah. And so, what about getting better? What does getting better look like today?
Getting better, well, in terms of the guitar, or in terms of in terms of guitar. You know what? This is so like, I probably sound like a kid, but I want to be able to play faster. I want to get some faster licks up my sleeve. I want to feel like really comfortable at like 1:30, like playing 16th lines and like playing interesting lines, rather than feeling like I just have to do my sort of my impression of Eric Johnson type thing. Like, I want to feel really like I've got stuff to say and it feels comfortable on this. Hence why I'm doing this chop builder thing. That's been, I feel like I'm really comfortable with playing like melodic stuff and hitting the changes when it comes to soloing. But I would love to just be able to have some like fucking slash shit up my sleeve and just be able to, you know what I mean? Like, I want to have a bit more fucking gnarly fast shred, basically. So I guess that in terms of general music stuff, I've got to learn Ableton. I'm learning Ableton. That's what I'm doing. So alongside playing, I'm working as a musical director for a couple of pop artists.
Yeah.
And on these gigs, you run tracks and you run click, and like universally it's done on Ableton. So I put the tracks together, and I'm a Logic guy. I always have been. So I always put my tracks together and I do arrangements and I add stuff and blah, blah, blah. I do it all through Logic and then bounce it out and send the stems to the playback guy so that they can put it into Ableton. I'm finding that that's kind of like, it's just like extra steps. It's really annoying. So I'm learning how Ableton works. That's literally what that's been the last couple of weeks and the next couple of weeks. So yeah, get that down.
I haven't even ever looked at or know what it looks like. So
it looks like it's from the 90s, dude. It's really weird.
Okay.
It's like, it's very like grey and utilitarian. Okay. I think you get used to it, but I'm used to like my sleek, you know, Apple UI, you know, where everything's like all pretty, and then it's like, oh, this is like harsh and German and confusing looking. No, it's going to be good. I'm feeling like, again, it's a new challenge, you know, similar to the pedal steel. It's like, okay, let's see what this is about, because I've seen people do amazing stuff on Ableton, like much easier than it is on Logic, and stuff you can't even do on Logic. So okay, maybe there's something in this.
Yeah, okay. And how did you fall into sort of the artist gigs that you're doing?
Yeah, so I was saying, before COVID and before I did the masters thing, I was playing in bands, and that was kind of the thing, like rock bands around London. I was in one where there was 2 guitars, just like the singer was the singer, and we had two guitar players. Unfortunately, COVID kind of killed that band because the lead singer was here on a visa. It ran out, and it was all a bit sad. But he's moved back now, and he's still one of my closest mates. It's all worked out. But the other guitar player was a guy called Gabe Coulter, who was one of my really good mates. He signed a deal with Warner Records during lockdown.
Okay.
So before COVID, we'd been playing in a band together and also working on his stuff. He wrote his own tunes and he was a singer in his own right. He signed this deal in like second half of 2020, I think. And then when all the gigs started happening again, 2021, that coincided with me finishing at Guildhall. And he was then starting to do shows. And doing his thing, and basically his management and his label hooked him up with a kind of big time, in inverted commas.
Yeah.
I don't know. That shouldn't be inverted commas. He was a really amazing MD called Matty Carroll, who plays bass for Dua Lipa and does his own musical direction. Incredible player and guy and musician. So Gabe was being MD'd by him, and they were fixing the band and putting it all together. And Gabe very kindly said that he wanted me to come and play guitar. So
Nice.
I got brought in, and that's how I met them. And there was a couple of there was a playback guy, and they'd fixed other session musicians who I didn't know on the thing, on the gig. And basically that was kind of it, honestly. Like, I just met through them. I got exposed to this whole world of the kind of like East London session musician crowd.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was at that point I was doing the Gabe gig and a little bit of teaching, a little bit of function stuff. And basically that, like I said, that was summer 21. And then since then I've kind of managed to phase out the teaching and pretty much just do gigs, which is lovely. Yeah. So it's artist stuff, and it's function bits and recording stuff for whoever needs it. And then every now and then I will teach a guitar lesson.
Yeah.
If I fancy it, basically, which is a nice position to be in.
Yeah, nice. Is there anything that you've like learned later on in your career that you wish you would have learned earlier?
That's a really good question. I mean, something that I thought maybe was a lesson that I've learned that I thought might be worth kind of sharing potentially is when I was younger, in my early 20s and before, I guess, my thing was just like say yes. I would just be the guy that would say yes. So whatever opportunity came along. So that's how I ended up doing the backline thing, and that's how I ended up playing on the theatre type stuff, which I was doing a lot of at that time, and all that kind of thing. And then when I left college and I was still kind of going for this say yes attitude, I sort of realized that it was actually another guitar player put it in this frame for me, a guy called Nico Sabatini, who he's the chairholder on Hamilton.
Right.
Amazing guitar player. And we went for a coffee before he played a show at Hamilton, and we had a chat, and he was talking to me about my career, and I said this like, I'll say yes type thing. And he was like, that's great. There comes a point, and he used this analogy of the train on the tracks.
Yeah.
Where you're going down the train and you choose this route when you say yes, and then you choose this route when you say yes, and you choose this route. And it comes a point, however many years it is into your career, and you've gone down all these different options, you've ended up here. There's no way that you're going to be able to go back and choose this other option. So if you keep saying yes to some things, because like we said earlier, you get more of what you do.
Yeah.
If you keep saying yes to theatre gigs, you're going to be a theatre guitar player. Yeah. Assuming that you're diligent and you care and you work on it and that sort of stuff. And it's like, is that really what you want? And at this point, I was doing some theatre gigs and some artisty gigs, and I looked at it and I thought, right now, I really, really love playing original music, and I love playing one-off shows and doing the touring thing and all that sort of stuff. So at that point, I actually stopped saying yes to everything. There was kind of like a bit of a watershed moment where I was like, okay, I think maybe I need to choose here. I think I need to focus and really like try and pick a direction. Yeah, I stopped saying yes. I think that worked really well for me earlier in my career because I got some amazing opportunities and learned a whole load of shit, and you know, it was great for that thing. As I got older, it's like, okay, you've seen all this stuff and you've been exposed to a whole bunch of shit. Maybe think about picking one.
Pick a lane. Which one do you want?
Pick a lane. Exactly. Because you get more of what you do. So those two kind of like, not mantras, but you know what I mean? Those schools of thought started going around my brain. It was like, do you know what? I really want to have a bash at this artist touring live guitar player thing. So yeah, that was kind of like that's like an interesting, vaguely interesting thing that has occurred.
Yeah, I mean,
if that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, when I was at college, they said the same thing, like just say yes to everything. And I remember there was one of the lectures, they were throwing out auditions to the students, and the tutor said, when you get auditions, everyone should be saying yes to them. And this girl very astutely said, okay, what if we don't want it and we get it?
Yeah.
And the tutor was like, well, obviously only go for things that you want. I was like,
what do you mean you don't want it? It's a gig, right?
Yeah. And it was like, that was exactly what I was like. If you put up an audition for a cruise gig, a cruise gig or a country gig, and you can't fucking play country for shit, but you go for the audition and somehow you get it. Like,
yeah, well, now what?
Well, now what? I don't actually want this gig. And I just thought it was kind of not necessarily bad advice, but I think the point he was making is you should try and get good at auditioning. So just go for auditions. But what if you get it and then you say no to it? You're going to look like a real asshole. And that could potentially spoil any other relationship you could potentially get with a fixer.
Whoever it is fixing that gig is going to go, oh, well, I gave them a shot and they didn't fancy it. Yeah, potentially. I don't know.
I think you always need to pick what you say yes to, even early on, because if you say yes to something, you turn up and fuck it up.
Yeah,
then that's worse than just saying no, it's not for me.
Totally. Yeah, and there's a way to say no, which is not gonna, there's an art in saying no, isn't there?
Yes.
So that's something that I've had to learn big time. Like I say, I was probably on the side of your tutor, to be honest. I was just like, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, learn country. Yeah, say yes and learn country later.
Yeah.
Just figure it out. That's changed a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're just so naturally gifted that you could just say yes to any audition and then go, fuck, I can't play that. And then you just go home and spend 24 hours learning whatever it is you're auditioning for, and then go in and nail it.
If you're that good, maybe you don't need to be going for your.
Yeah.
you probably have a lane. You probably have a niche at this point, which is well paid and something you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else coming up for the rest of the year?
I've got a really busy next couple of months, actually. I'm heading out to Australia with that Jacob Banks, who I was telling you about earlier.
You been before?
I've been once before, yeah.
I love Australia. I mean, everything's trying to kill you, but I fucking love that.
Yeah,
country.
Dude, it's just like here, but the food's nicer and the people are nicer and the weather's nicer.
It's warmer.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, great. So, yeah, we've got a little run out there, a couple of weeks with Jacob. And then I'm actually heading there again, believe it or not, in November. I've got two Australia runs coming up. The second one is with Holly Humberstone, who's another pop artist that I work with. And that's a bit longer. I think we're heading out for 3.5 weeks.
Nice.
And we're going to be supporting Sam Fender.
Wicked.
Yeah, which I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be great. We're doing this Sam supports and then a couple of side shows of her headlines and I think 1 or 2 festivals as well. So, and I worked loads with Holly last year and the year before, and then she's been in album mode. So it's been like a year basically, almost to the week since we last worked together. So basically it's Holly Humberstone wheels start turning again at the end of the year, which is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, and then alongside that, I've got these 2 artists that I'm musical director for, so I'm putting the show together for those. And yeah, it's like it's full on. Basically now until the 3rd of December, I'm
non-stop.
I'm non-stop, bro. Yeah, so really grateful for it. It's really good, but it's kind of like right now I'm going, oh my God, I've got so much to do, so much to learn.
Yeah.
See if I can get some practice in at any point during all that stuff. Fingers crossed.
That's cool, man. It's really cool. And do you have any goals for like the next 5 years or so? Like anything you really want to get down or anything you want to do?
Well, I sort of achieved a goal this year. I released some music under my name.
Nice.
So that was like something, that's a little itch that I've always wanted to scratch, of having my own little projects just for a creative outlet. Write some songs, put them out, see if anyone wants to listen to them. So I'm sort of in the process of releasing those. I put out my second tune yesterday, which was quite nice. Yeah. So I'm actually quite chuffed with myself because I did it all. I played everything and recorded it all and produced it and wrote it, released it all.
Now, where can we hear it?
It's everywhere. It's on all of your streaming platforms.
Okay.
The artist name is Rennie, which is my surname.
Yeah.
And I put out a tune yesterday called Running From Today.
Okay.
And the first song that I put out in August was called Starts With a Key. So you can check them out. And I've got 2 more singles and an EP incoming by the end. Like I'm going to aim to have them all out by the end of the year if like work doesn't swallow me whole. Yeah. I'm going to try and keep dripping them out. So yeah, so I guess that's like a goal that I've achieved and also would like to keep developing. Yeah. I love writing and I love production. So I would really love to keep going with that. I'd love to do a gig like of my own stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of like it's so like small time, but like if I could just play like 100 cap room and it would be my songs and I could put the band together and it would be like my people and we could fucking jam on my songs and some people would be there to hear it, then honestly that would be like mission accomplished, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm gonna
No, I get that.
I'm gonna keep working on that, I think. And then I don't know, other goals. I'd love to keep writing for other artists as well. That's something that
Yeah.
I've been doing on the side alongside writing for myself. I write for other people, doing the co-write thing. So it'd be nice to get a bit more development in that, you know,
Okay.
some more income and some more. I know it's not all about numbers, but some of the kind of like increased a bit more streams and a bit more recognition on that front. I think that's something that I'll
Yeah.
keep working on.
Awesome. Cool. Anyway, I am going to let you get on with whatever you've got going on for the rest of the day.
Nice one.
I'm really glad that we did this, man. It was really, really lovely to chat and lovely to see you again.
Totally, likewise, man. Yeah, hopefully I haven't just, it's a funny experience because I'm just like, oh, I'm just talking about me? Is that,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's what it's about? Oh,
Yeah.
God. So yeah, I hope I haven't come across as too
Not at all, man.
drony.
Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, I wish you luck. Have a fucking wicked time in Australia, both times.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah,
And,
thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
We will speak soon. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Have a good rest of the day.
You too.
See you later, mate. Cheers.